Hey everyone, Roxanne here from financerocks.com. Thank you for joining me. Tonight's topic is going to be November budget setup for our Money With Me live work session tonight. If you are catching the replay, go ahead and put replay in the comments. I always appreciate hearing from you guys. Let's do a little overview for what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to start with budget goals, and then talk a little bit about purchase procrastination and how to work that into your budget. I'm going to talk about annual budgeting and extending your focus. November prompts, so going through things to remember as you do your November budget. I'll do our November budget walkthrough. Hopefully that'll help trigger additional items that you may or may not need to incorporate for November or December. And then we can do silent work sessions. We can do 1 or 2 depending on how much work you guys need to do. And then I'll leave a little time for Q&A at the end. So starting with budget goals. So I like to start with a particular goal in mind when I start doing our budget. I find that this helps give us direction as we're filling it in. So if you don't do this, and what I see a lot of clients and people do with their budgets is just start going through category by category, filling out how much they think they'll spend in that category. The downside with doing it this way is sometimes you get to the end of the budget and there really isn't anything left over. So kind of just to twist that and start with the goal first. So let's say your goal is to save like $200 for the month of November. What you could do is put in your $200 as a savings category first, and then go through your budget, keeping that in mind and making sure that that remains in the budget and doesn't just kind of get left out at the bottom. You can go ahead and fill it out category by category and then just go back at the end, like go back up if you're short on dollars for whatever goals you want to accomplish. But yeah, I just kind of like that idea of starting with the goal first before you kind of go through the budget. Because like I said, it'll kind of lead you to, whatever, to make sure that that goal gets accomplished and that you're setting aside dollars for whatever purpose you're wanting to set aside those dollars for. And for, let's see. Yeah, so once you go ahead and have the direction, the goal that you want to accomplish for your budget, filling it out, and then really turning your focus into what actions do I need to take on a day-to-day basis to accomplish this budget or to make that goal happen. Lots of people will do the budget, put it in the drawer, and then not look at it again, and then be surprised that they haven't saved more money or accomplished their money goals. You really want to focus on creating like I said, the habits, the routines that it's going to take to accomplish that. So what do I mean? I'm talking about breaking down like how many trips to Chipotle per month can you have and still achieve this budget? Really it comes down to figuring out where those dollars are going to come from instead of just setting kind of arbitrary numbers in different categories, really looking at how to come up with that $200 that you want to save. What are you going to cut out to get it? Because, if you make the same amount every month and you want to save $200 more this month, it has to come from somewhere. So identifying ahead of time what those no's are going to be or how you're going to streamline it is going to be very helpful to making sure that actually happens for you. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about purchase procrastination. If you're unfamiliar with purchase procrastination, it is a system of delayed gratification. A lot of people use like the 72-hour rule. I did not create the 72-hour rule, but essentially, instead of buying the item right away, waiting 3 days, 72 hours before you purchase it, it helps give that breathing room between when you want something, the impulse, and when you actually buy it. And I still am surprised all the time after I wait a little while, after I really wanted something. Sometimes I just legitimately don't want it that much. Or I'll look at my list of items that I want and decide that it's actually pretty low on the list of things that I would like. And so then I don't really need to buy it, and that's money saved. It also just helps you feel more in control of your spending, and it gives you that like bump of motivation and discipline to have said, I'm not going to buy this right now. I just need to wait a little bit and then I can buy it. So it helps you feel more in control of your spending, which has, other benefits for your money, just kind of your overall discipline level as well. So when I do purchase procrastination, I like to wait actually until the next budget cycle. So I just call it purchase procrastination instead of the 72-hour rule. And I find that that's really helpful from a budgeting standpoint because it protects your current budget that you've already set. So you're not breaking your budget and going off the rails, which, I mean, admittedly, I have done before, but it protects your current budget, and then you have information going into the next month that you can put into your budget. So both months are going to be better off if you wait until the next budget cycle to buy those items. And so I probably should have typed this up for you guys. Yeah, you definitely cannot see that. Okay, so when I track my purchase procrastination, I just have a column for the item that I want to purchase, and then I put in the date that I wanted it. And so it just goes in the front of my day planner, on the inside page, and I write down anything that I want on this list. Some of these items are really old. So for an example, I have a travel backpack. I'd like a really lightweight backpack with wheels, which I know those typically don't go together. It's one or the other. But essentially that was January of 2018. So a long time I've been waiting to buy that. But really I don't really need one. I have a nice backpack. And I really would only need it for a big trip. And I really want to wait and find one that I really like that fits these very specific dimensions, essentially. So that item has just continued to be on this list for a long time. I, look at this list. Okay, let me back up here. So if you're going to start incorporating purchase procrastination into your budget cycle, what you could do is have a step right before you do your budget to read this list of things that you previously wanted. And then you can prioritize the list and decide which of those things are going to be into your November budget. You could pick 1, 2, or 3 items and then just say, as long as they will fit in the budget, you can have whatever you want off of this list since you've already waited to buy these for a little bit of time. So that would be a good way to go about it. I admittedly have not been great about remembering to review this before I go into budgeting. But I do look at it when I go shopping, and I often will, if there's an expensive item, which most of these are pretty little, then I will say, oh, okay, I do want to buy this, maybe I should wait just one more month until the next cycle, and then actually remember. I'll go into my budget notes and go ahead and put it in the notes column as a trigger to myself that, okay, I do want to buy this. I've waited for a while. Maybe I can start shopping for a secondhand version of it, that kind of thing. So just thinking about incorporating purchase procrastination into your budget cycle, I just had that tip for you. Just kind of remember to go in, read through the list, see if there's anything that you still really want, anything that you could fit into the budget. Any questions on that, on the purchase procrastination? Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about annual budgeting as well. So I've shared on here before, and oops, I just removed it. Okay, there we go. I've shared during the Money With Me sessions before how we really set our big annual goal for the year as far as how much money we're going to save and how much we're going to spend. And then we kind of give ourselves freedom to spend or save the money as long as we don't go over that threshold. So for this year, our annual budget is $40,000. That's essentially what it's been the last few years. So just trying to keep our spending to a reasonable level and then investing everything else that we make, all the other money. So that's kind of what I was talking about as far as like taking a goal that you have and letting that drive your budget. I do really like annual budgeting because I think that it helps to extend your focus. A lot of people do get kind of caught in like the paycheck to paycheck cycle. And I think that one of the things that kind of keeps them there is that they are only thinking about this next week or today or, a very short time frame. And, I'm guilty of thinking like, thinking about and saving money for the future is a luxury that I don't really have right now. But thinking it back to my own story, it really wasn't until I decided I'm going to start saving money now, today, for, my emergency fund for the next few months to get a month ahead. It wasn't until I had that thought that, okay, I'm going to do it now, that I really was able to start making progress in my finances. It seems weird, right? You would think that, once you have more money, then you'll be able to save that money and think about the future, do more future planning. But like I said, for me, it was really kind of the opposite. I decided that I needed to start setting money aside today. And I mean, I haven't really talked about this a whole lot, but even like getting out of paycheck to paycheck when I was broke and unemployed, no paycheck to no paycheck, essentially, that it was little things like buying a bigger pack of toilet paper or filling my gas tank all the way to full instead of just filling it up a few dollars and going more frequently. Because those are little ways that you are putting money aside for the future. So that's really how I started setting aside money, from going from like $200 in my account to having the full emergency fund. So just wanted to kind of mention that if you're thinking about only today or only this week, try expanding that time frame that you are thinking about and saving money for. And it's grown over time. I didn't start with an annual budget. I started with getting 1 month ahead and then getting 3 months ahead and then having my full emergency fund. Those were kind of the things that I was working up to. And I certainly don't think there's anything wrong with doing an annual budget at any point. It's just making sure that you are focusing the most of your time and money on like one cycle ahead of where you're at. So if you're paycheck to paycheck, thinking about the month and making sure you have money set aside for the full month. If you're doing well on monthly planning, then thinking more about the next 3 months, setting aside money, making sure that you have your 3 months emergency fund, extending wherever you're at up a level. And I think that doing the annual budget helps simplify the process as well. If you look at our kind of budgeting system, we set that $40,000 spending goal at the beginning of the year. And essentially, we really truly only have one budget. I do go in and do, the monthly budgets, just mostly as an estimate to see, where we might end up and make sure we're still on track. But it really truly is one budget instead of having to do 12 for every month. So going back to the screen here, is that too small? That might be too small. We have our annual budget of $40,000. I pulled this up today. As of today, we've spent $21,116 this year. So after 10 months, we could have spent up to $33,000 and still been on track to hit our $40,000 budget. So that means that we could spend $12,218 in these next 2 months. We do have a big month here in November because we have a few annual payments due. But I just think that it makes it a little easier to think about, how much money can we be spending? And, some months fluctuate. I pulled this out of Mint today. Our September, we only spent $711. And then I know I haven't gone through the November budget yet, but I'm anticipating that we spend about $6,000 this month. And now I know that not everyone's budget fluctuates that much, but I think that having the annual budget kind of just helps streamline things. Like, if we were having a $6,000 month, spending $6,000 in 1 month, then, it's like tracking every dollar for the last few months, because we're not going to make that much in this month. We've just been setting it aside. Hopefully that makes sense. I think I might be talking in a circle there. But like, in order to update this budget to really check where we are with our annual budget, it took me like 3 minutes today. I just went into our Mint account. I'm not affiliated with Mint. I just really like them. I just went into our Mint account, changed the filter on our spending report to year to date, and it just gave me this little spending summary, January, February, March, and the total. So then I said, okay, well, we have a lot of budget dollars left because we've only spent 21. So it just makes managing it a little easier if you have kind of the bigger picture of what you're doing with your money. Let's see. So let's talk about November prompts now. Let's get into planning out your November budget. Let me know if those tips were helpful. I try to always share a few tips before we get into like kind of more of the content for the day, kind of general budgeting tips. So the prompts for November. Do you have anybody in your family or friend circle with birthdays this month? Any gifts in particular that you'll need to purchase? Any anniversaries or graduations that you want to have gifts for? Any trips or travel planned? The holidays for November are going to be Veterans Day and Thanksgiving. Do you have any annual, quarterly, semi-annual payments coming up this month? Like I said, we have a few here in November. Is there anything in particular you've been saving up for and need to remember to set money aside for in the month of November? And then a few November specific reminders. It'll be Election Day. You could start doing your Christmas spending, which is something we will be doing. And then I just threw in here shipping because we're probably going to end up shipping gifts this year. I'm not sure yet if we'll be able to go and visit family for the holidays. So I am going to start trying to get stuff prepped in the month of November. So going through our November budget, let's see. So you would want to estimate your income for November. Oh, Andrew's here. Hello, Andrew. Saving up for that Lambo. I don't even know how much a Lamborghini costs. Do you know like what the range is? I'm sure it's outrageous, but yeah, I have no idea. I was thinking about maybe having a topic for a future Money With Me session being variable income. So I was going to see if that would be helpful to anybody. Some people that maybe just get paid like commissions, budgeting can be a little harder if you have a variable income. So just wanted to see if anyone was interested in having that be a future topic. So going through kind of our November budget here, our food spending was not $700 for October. I'm pretty happy we were only at like $560. I was thinking it was going to be higher, but we did pretty well. Andrew says, don't know on the cost. Well, you should probably figure that out if you're saving for it. You don't want to oversave for that Lambo. I am going to reduce our food spending a little bit in November. It's soup season. I put in the notes, soup season. We love eating soup. It's so easy to make like a giant pot of stuff and then just not have to worry about cooking for a while. And that tends to be super cheap. So I think our food spending will be down a bit. I'll probably up it again in December because I like to bake cookies for people. So, well, sometimes I put like, if I go out and buy like a bunch of like Hershey's Kisses for peanut butter blossoms, sometimes I put that under gift. So I don't know. We'll see. Giving, we like to do a donation to the Montana Food Bank. And then, like I mentioned, we're going to start buying Christmas gifts. So I did $600 for giving. Andrew, put the money printer. Okay, all right. I could probably just Google it, but anyway. Health and medical, I just kept the same as what we have been averaging. Home, we have our home insurance due this month. I don't know why it says 9/10. I think it's the 7th. I must have just estimated it, but so one of the things I like to do with my budget as well is put in formulas instead of just typing in the number. So the total here, oh, I just popped up my blog. So if you look in the formula field, it says equals 141 plus 910. So that 141 is our monthly average that we've been running. And then I add in the amount of our home insurance because we still will have our regular home expenses. And sometimes we'll buy like paint for the house. If we end up needing to buy a new shovel or something, have a few dollars for that. For transportation, I put in our monthly average. We've been averaging 90 plus our car insurance also due in November for 1,612. Plus I need a car battery for my dead car. So I estimated 90 for that and I just Googled it. So hopefully that'll be about right. Personal care, I didn't fill in even though I am thinking about bleaching my hair. On my no spend challenge this last week, I did a bunch of like watching hair dyeing videos. I don't know. It's been a weird year. So I have no idea how to estimate this. I've never bought hair bleach before. I'll maybe just do $50 in there and check back. I might adjust that before the start of November after I do a little bit more research on what it'll cost. Pets. Fatty McFatterson for my dog, just some kibble. I think we're due for a bag. Utilities, I just kept the same as our regular monthly average. No travel planned for November. Property taxes, this is the other reason why our November spending is going to be large. $1,342 due in November. And which I don't know that we've gotten that yet. Hopefully we'll get it soon. Get that taken care of. Rochelle is here. Hey, Rochelle. Yeah, you just wrapped up your season. I didn't realize that you were doing it for like a certain number of episodes. And I was wondering how long you're going to wait before you start again. I had no idea like if there were like particular. So Rochelle does Monday. Okay, it's the same time as this, right? 5 p.m. Mountain Standard, which would be 7 p.m. Eastern. I guess I don't know why I would be promoting it for you right now if you are going to be on break for a little while. But you can always go back and watch the live streams. I love your live stream. Anyway, I'm rambling. Shopping for the month of November. So what do you need to purchase for November? We put on here from my purchase procrastination list, our tea kettle died in October. It just recently died. So I put kettle for $30. Mr. Finance Rocks hasn't had a new phone in quite some time. So for him, I put a $350 phone and a $30 case. He likes OtterBoxes. I just looked at average cost for phone cases. I should probably look at like an actual one, and he just needs a cheap phone. He told me he does not want a fancy phone because in the past, when he has gotten a fancier phone than me, I've made him take photos and used his phone for my social media stuff because I had a real garbage phone for a long time. So got him to, he was using his phone a lot. So he says he does not want a fancy phone to prevent me from being on it. Rochelle says, thanks so much. Oh, back in January 2021. Okay, great. Thank you for filling in on that. Looking forward to it. Okay, so fees and charges, we really only have our taxes once a year is the only thing that goes in that category. Probably don't need a whole category for it, but these are actually the categories for Mint. So I just used their default categories, and so we have one purchase that goes through there. So entertainment. We have Netflix for $13. We might sign up for Game Pass. We want to kind of have like couples game nights and pick a few games to play together. And so I don't know that much about Game Pass, but he wanted to play Sea of Thieves with a friend of his. So he just signed up for one, and then I might sign up for one as well. So I think it's $5 a month. And then I haven't talked to my husband about this budget yet. It'll have to get his stamp of approval, but I put Assassin's Creed on there. He loves those Assassin's Creed games, and there's a new one coming out in November. So I just want to preempt, think that he might want that. But he usually tries to wait until they go down in price a little bit before he buys it. But threw that in there to be safe for now. So $83 for entertainment for November. Office and shipping, like I said, I want to try to start getting Christmas gifts prepped, and then if I can, even send out. Why not send it ahead of time if you can? Is my goal. I'm so ambitious, but I'm not good at mailing gifts, so we'll see how that goes. And then for education, I'm just going to keep the monthly average. I thought about zeroing this out, and I really want to always have some dollars in there. I don't want to ever dissuade myself from spending money on education. If there's a book that I want to buy or a course I want to take, because that's the kind of thing that like can help you, it's good for your brain. And so I want to always encourage myself to do it. So I always keep some in there. So that makes my total expenses for November being $6,471. Hopping down to the bottom here for kind of annual budget numbers. So if you're just hopping on, I do a $40,000 annual budget. As of today, we've spent $21,116. That means we could spend $12,000 for the end of the year. If we spend $6,471 in November, that means we'll have $5,746 that we could spend in December. I think that we're going to have several $1,000 surplus at the end of this year again. So anyway, it looks good. It's reasonable. Just trying to keep a handle on that. Let's see. Any questions? Any questions? We could do our silent work sessions. I was thinking about doing the first silent work session would be, like I was talking about at the beginning, setting aside some time to prioritize your money goals for November. And then, you can let that guide how you fill in your November budget if we end up doing a second silent work session. I was just talking so much. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into a silent work session then. I'll go ahead and pull up the timer. And then if you haven't done a silent work session, you can feel free to work on whatever you need to work on for your finances. It's a great time to work on side hustle stuff. I know a lot of you guys are side hustlers. You can work on side hustles. If you're following along with the prompts, you could prioritize your purchase procrastination list. So just going through, picking out things that you would like to purchase for the month of November. If you get done with that, you could go ahead and move on to filling out a budget for the month of November. I should have done that before I made my screen tiny, sorry. All right, with that, let's go ahead and get started. In 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, that's the end of the first work session. How did it go? What did you work on? I apologize. I realized that I had the wrong banner up there. I had one from our goal setting session instead of the one that was supposed to be for this one, which was prioritizing your money goals for November. So, like I said, reading through your purchase procrastination list, picking out things that you would want to purchase, budget willing, that you could purchase. And on that note, I am going to take a break from the weekly plan with me sessions that I have been doing. I am kind of thinking about moving over to Twitch at some point and doing live streams on there. I am going to continue to do these Tuesday night money with me sessions because that's more in alignment with the channel purpose anyway. You know, I wanted to give people time in their schedule to go in and work on their money related tasks. And then it's been nice to engage with you guys, answer questions, get your feedback on things, and kind of figure out, you know, what kind of content you're looking for, what kind of questions that you have. So still going to do these Tuesday night work sessions. I'm hoping in like end of November or early December to pick back up the plan with me's. But they, like I said, they might be on a different platform than YouTube. So we'll see. Also, I heard that it isn't that great for your channel, for like the YouTube algorithm to do too many live streams. And I heard that from a girl, but I haven't been able to find any information on it. So in addition to being busy and kind of wanting to have Sunday afternoons off. So those are the reasons why I've been thinking about pausing those sessions. Also, I Googled it and it costs about $200,000 to buy a Lamborghini. I don't know if you saw it. I pulled it up when you were out there. Typical Lamborghinis go for about $200,000. That's a lot. So Andrew, I hope that you are saving heavily if you are. Otherwise, it might be a while. I believe in you, though. Go for what you want. You want that Lambo, you go for it. Okay, do you guys have any other questions? I might just cut this work session short. Like I said, I might do a future session on budgeting with a variable income. So what to do if you have a income that's not the same every single paycheck. Mandaraj, hello. LOL. Yeah, I know, that's what I said. I pulled it up and I was like, oh, that hurts. That hurts me just to think about spending that much money on a car. But plus I just saw a video the other day of this like teenage girl that got a Lamborghini and was super ungrateful for it. It was like a video of her getting it for her birthday and it wasn't the color that she wanted or something, and she was very sassy about it. Anyway, I don't know. Cars just aren't my area that I care about spending money in. And I think a lot of people do like spending money on cars, but as long as it runs, and I mean, even the car I have now isn't that reliable. So, but we have my husband's car as a backup, so it's not a big deal. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a happy Halloween. And we can do, I guess maybe I might do another November session next week for people that might be starting November a little bit late in the budget cycle. We'll see. As always, you guys can work on whatever you need to work on during the live streams. So I'll go ahead and let you go. Thank you guys so much.